What is going on? Hope you're doing well. Got my coffee here, just a pod coffee. Okay, so as I sip on this, it is Saturday morning. It's 17th of January here in Australia, Queensland, and just thought it'd be a great opportunity to update you on what's been going on this week, give you a rundown of my week of trading, where I went wrong, where I went right, and the lessons that I've learned. Is to give you guys an update of where I'm at with everything. And if you don't know about me or sort of a bit about my journey, quick rundown, and you can see a more in-depth video on my channel. It's my first video on my channel. Seems to be getting a little bit of traction, which is good. I think a lot of people can relate to it. But quick rundown on me. I started trading as a brand new beginner. I mean brand new as didn't really know anything about trading, what candlesticks were, anything like that, about 3.5 months ago. And I was able to get funded in the first 3 months. I did actually get funded in the first month, but completely blew it. Didn't really know what I was doing, over leveraging, over risking, all that stuff, right? Which you probably know if you've been in the trading space. So I have this Top Step account, which I got funded. That was the second time I got funded. That was in my first 3 months. I've had this funded account for a month and a half now. Have yet to take a payout. Okay, so my goal right now is to get my first payout. Now, I want to give you an update on this week so far and the trades that I made and what my progress has been. As you can see here, obviously the balance isn't looking too good, but I'm actually not too mad about it. I'm not that upset about it. And I want to explain why, because really where I've come from this account, I went straight into drawdown on this account. And look, my goal is to get at least a payout of I want it to be at least 250 US to 500 US. That's my goal. And in order to do that on a Top Step account, the balance would have to be 700, 750 bucks or $1,000, okay? Now, I'm not too mad, even though the equity curve, it was starting to look good until the last couple of days. I want to explain what happened there. Completely avoidable, obviously, but I'm okay with this because I know that I'm more than likely not going to blow this account just because I have my risk management pretty much. I'm getting to the point where it's getting pretty locked in. But I just want to talk about how we can avoid having a balance of this and where I'm at in terms of the payout. Right, so I have my profitable days. You only need 5 profitable days of over 150 bucks or more on Top Step. I have 6 or 7 profitable days. The only problem is I got my profitable days when I was in drawdown, and my drawdown was actually, it was negative 1,200 bucks, basically from when I got funded. So my profitable days were me climbing out of drawdown to get to a balance of, I think the highest on this account was 200 bucks. And my struggle has been getting above $0 and just staying there, right? Earlier this week, I was on the 14th, it's the 17th right now, I was at negative 78 bucks. And I was like, sweet, pretty much at break even. Let's go into some positive, right? Let's build this balance up. And the next couple of days obviously didn't go to plan, but that's okay. This is pretty much 1, maybe 2 trades away from being at 0 anyway. So I want to break down these trades. So pretty much here, and before I get into the trades, it looks pretty sad, but I'm actually okay with this because we started off the year really strong. That was pretty much my highest year. And even though we had all of these losing days, the second week of the year was not good, okay, but completely avoidable. I'll talk about it in the lessons that I've learned. We went, negative 600 bucks. But even though we've got so many red days, it only takes 1 or 2 green days and we're back to normal, and that's because of risk management, okay? So one thing I want to mention here, what I've been trading mostly is futures, obviously, being on a Top Step account. I trade mostly micro NASDAQ, so NQ, and gold. Okay, and I want to talk about the conditions before I get into the actual trades I've taken. The conditions are so important, and I won't talk too much about my system. I'm more of a continuation trader. I work a lot off of support and resistance, and I want to talk about conditions. If we go to the 4-hour here, conditions really matter. So with being a continuation trader, if we go back to October and we trade in conditions like this is October last year, it's pretty easy to see where price wants to go. Okay, continuation, you can look for the support and resistance, you can continue with longs, or even if you wanted to trade shorts in a market like this, it's easy to see where price is going, right? Now, while trades can still happen, I found that earlier on in the year, conditions like this, where we're just kind of ranging, right? Yes, you can have buys here. Yes, you can have some sells here, but it's much harder to see what price is doing, and it's much harder to see where price is going. And what that means is that it creates a lot of confusion. So a lot of my losses I've seen, a lot of my red days have been just in conditions like this. So what does this tell me? I'll talk about it in some of the lessons that I've learned. Get my notepad out because I've already written them down. But one of them is that you shouldn't force trades in conditions like this. If you're a continuation trader like myself, or you like to trade in trending markets, whether it's trending up or trending down, conditions like this make it really hard, right? And this is like consolidating price, where it goes up, it goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Yes, you can trade this, right? And I've taken trades in this, and I'll show you some of these trades, but this is what NQ's been like. Now, if we go to gold, it's even worse, right? We go to gold this week. We compare this week to last week, okay? This was last week. Last week, pretty much first or second week of Jan, it's trending. We go to this week, it has been nothing but barcode, right? And excuse my drawings here, there's just some of my markups. But this is what we're looking at. And there's nothing wrong with trading this, but it just makes more guesswork. So, a couple of things I've learned before I go into these trades. These are the lessons I've learned this week so far as to why, and this is pretty much one of the reasons, or these are the reasons why my balance is negative right now, where I could have taken the same amount of trades and I could have had a balance of a super positive balance, like $1,000, $2,000, if I just applied this. So for me, I wouldn't say I didn't necessarily force setups, but I was actively looking for setups. And when we're in a range like this, when price is consolidating, and this was like pretty much all markets I saw, apart from, I think silver was doing pretty well this week, but I don't really trade silver at the moment, just kind of looking at it. But it makes it hard, or makes it harder to not force setups. So I would much prefer to just wait for price to go back into a trending, whether it's trending up or trending down, and not force any setups if price is ranging. So if price is ranging, stay out of it, okay? And you might struggle with this as well. Again, only trade in trending conditions, and be okay. This is one thing that I'm actively getting better at. I was terrible at it at the start, but be okay with not taking any trades for the day if conditions are not favorable. So if conditions look like this, right, if we go to the 5-minute even, and conditions, we say go to yesterday, or a couple of days ago, right, say the last 48 hours, these are the conditions, okay, we're just barcode. What's the point in forcing these setups when you don't know? Yes, you could ride the ups and the downs, but it's not as favorable, and it's just going to create more guesswork, which can create more headaches. Price is slow. One of the worst things I found for me is that I hate when price is slow, right? So another thing I could add in here is being in Australia, okay, when I'm awake, I usually trade in Asia, right? Because that's like Asia, and then London opens at around like 6 p.m., 6 p.m. for me. So I usually trade in Asia, but Asia, a lot of the time for NQ and sometimes gold, can equal slow price action, right? So what are some of the refinements I've made? Maybe I just can wait until London, okay, which is let's say 6 p.m. and I don't even have to look at the charts. Maybe I could look in the morning. Maybe I could possibly look at Asia at, let's just say, 9 a.m. and maybe look for a setup there. But from 9 a.m., if there's no setup, just wait until 6 p.m. because that's when the market actually picks up. And I could even wait until closer to New York, where I'm looking at maybe like 9, 10 p.m., let's say 10 p.m. my time. Maybe I just wait and not get on the charts until 6 p.m. Like I could do that. because in my data, from what I've seen, majority of my good trades have been in London anyway. So maybe I just wait. So they're the lessons that I've learned. So let's have a look at some of these trades real quick. This is going throughout the week. I'll try my best to show these days, but let's just say this is from like, all these trades are from like this week, so Monday to Friday, okay, and not consecutively. These are just the ones that have made the biggest impact for me and that I've mostly tracked. So one of them was on gold, okay, and this is what I mean by the consolidating price. I ended up only taking partial profit. Yes, it was 1.25 risk to reward, but it could have been a 3 plus. I could have targeted down here, but the thing is that price was consolidating. If price was trending downwards, which, yes, it looks like it is from this image, but it was consolidating. If I just traded when it was trending, this would have been a more highly likely scenario. And I could have just walked away. Price could have just come down, hit this point, that would have been out. Okay, but price consolidated, it came back up. Price actually ended up going up to this high, coming back down, going up a little bit, like, shouldn't be trading these conditions at all. Okay, but that was a win. Now, this was on NQ. Okay, I remember what happened with this trade, actually. I took it too early. This was during the day, so this was actually entering into London. I should have waited a little bit more for price to do its thing, or at least had a bigger room on my stop loss, because yes, it was a small loss, but what ended up happening was I got BE again. It's the same trade, okay, and I needed more patience. I needed more patience to wait for price to do its thing, because what ended up happening here was it ended up hitting this this resistance point here, and then my last trade, which actually ended up working out, was this one here. This is the move that I was looking for, right? So I'll see if I can zoom out here. But I was targeting this low. We were trending down. Again, trending. We're in London session, okay? And I waited for this sweep, and then bang, 3.18 risk to reward. This was the best trade of the week. And this trade here, I think, ended up being about, I think it was about 350 to 400 bucks. And these are the trades I need to be taking. Not this kind of shit here, okay? So they were basically majority of the trades. I did have some other trades that would break even and some other trades that I probably shouldn't have taken. I didn't have any major losses. The only thing that kind of annoyed me was I went to enter a trade along an NQ, and I didn't realize that in here, the contract was still on silver because I was checking out silver on my practice account. And I ended up getting into 3 contracts on silver. And yes, I've set my daily loss limit to like 250 bucks on this account, but I got in and got out because when I realized I wasn't on NQ, right, I should have been here. I was on silver. I got into 3 contracts, and silver is expensive. So in a matter of like less than a second, I got in and got out, and I'd lost 100 bucks. And that, I was like, it put me on a little bit of tilt, just because I was like, it's just such a dumb mistake, and it added to the balance, like negative balance that I just didn't need, that I was trying to get out of with this trade on NQ, this long that I was going to enter. But yeah, that's how it is. It's just a lesson learned. And worst case scenario that would have happened, would have hit my daily loss limit if it was a bigger trade than that, and I would have got locked out. Worst case scenario. That's why I set a daily loss limit. If anything like that does happen, or just to stop myself from overtrading. So they're the main lessons learned. Just want to go over it again. The main things here is just to not make trading harder than it needs to be. For me as a continuation trader, or a trader that obviously likes to trade in trending markets, whether it's trending up or trending down, if it's consolidating for the week, don't bother, or at least take a lot less setups. Just take setups that are more highly likely to play out and not force any trades. Okay, so from here, what are we looking at? Yes, we're at a negative balance of 400, but that's okay. I was at a negative balance of 600 last week. So I brought it back a little bit. I was at pretty much break even, but again, had a couple of bad days, but that's okay. 1, maybe 2 trades, and I'm back to 0. I have all my profitable days. All I need to do is get to a positive balance, and I can take my first payout. And I'll show you guys a video when I do, because it's going to happen. I highly doubt that I'm going to blow this account. It's like physically not possible almost at this point, because my risk management is so tight. But I just wanted to update you guys on where I'm at and just show you that, look, it's lessons learned. I'm still very new to this, and this is going to take time. And I feel like once I get my first, second, and third payout, I feel like we're going to be off to the races, and I'm going to have a system in place. Honestly, I've got a system. It's just more so the hardest thing here is that when markets are in these conditions, it's just me sitting on my hands. That's like the hardest thing. I'm someone who wants to take trades all the time. It's like every single day I need to have, at least one setup. And I've got to realize that it's okay to not have a setup. If there's no setups presented, don't take it. Okay, that, and for my system, maybe just wait till later on in the day. Don't sit there scratching your head or pulling out your hair when we're in an Asian market, in the Asia session, and prices consolidate up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it doesn't move. Maybe just don't take any trades then. Just wait until the market has more volume at a later date, a later time of the day. I think you'd be better. Anyway, this is just an update. I hope you've learned something from this as well, because I know that a lot of traders, being in some of the communities that I'm in, a lot of traders do struggle with just sitting on their hands. This could be a lesson for you as well. Just don't take trades if you don't need to, and you will save yourself a lot of headache. So I'll keep you guys updated during the week. I want to try and do like 1 to 3 videos a week, even just on mentality stuff if I don't have trades to show you. But hope this video helped. Stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one.